Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Cool Vibes with Key. I'm your host Kiara, aka Key, and today's episode is called Show Up and Show Out. So, we're going to be talking about small ways that you can show up for yourself every day. And as you can see, if you're watching the video, I'm sitting in my little reading nook that I made last night for my impromptu World Poetry Day poetry reading. So I figured it'd be fun to keep the comfy vibes going as we talk about different ways to take care of ourselves. So let's just jump right in. Alright, so the first thing that I have on here is take your health seriously. And so I broke this down into 4 sections. So we have our physical health, mental health, emotional health, and financial health. And so each of these plays obviously a very important role in your life. But if you're like I was a few months ago and you're sitting there and you're like, all of these are all out of whack for me. Where do I start? Where do I begin? What do I start working on to even start taking my health seriously? I always recommend starting with your mental health. Obviously, your mental health is one of the most important things. And if you're not taking care of your mental health, you're not going to be able to put the time and energy that you need into those other aspects of your life. And then moving on, if you're thinking of which one you should work on next, I'd say either work on your physical or your emotional health. Now, your physical health is obviously a bit more obvious of what it is. That's things like getting your yearly checkup, going to the OB, going to get your nutrition figured out, all of those like little things. Whereas your emotional health is something I feel like that often gets overlooked. And that's how you respond to your emotions, to other people's emotions. And just looking at those different ways. How do you respond to anger? How do you respond to sadness in your life? And taking care of those and making sure that you're not doing anything that's going to cause you harm either in the moment or retroactively. And then finally, I would say work on your financial health. Now, obviously, this could take precedent over the other two. Let's say, you don't have any money, you can't go to the doctor. So then in that case, I would say work on your financial health before you take that time to work on your physical health. But at the end of the day, I recommend it as your last one. And this could be in a number of ways. This could be through getting a new job. If you find yourself, being very drained by your job, you just find it lackluster. This could be starting a passion project on the side, starting a side hustle to generate that extra bit of income. There's a lot of different ways to work on your financial health. And this could also be through like investing, taking more charge of where your money goes and making a more conscious effort to make sure that you are spending your money wisely, which is really important. But there's different ways to go through all of these. But at the end of the day, what matters is that you're taking your health seriously, just as seriously as a doctor would when you go see them. All right, for the next one, I have keep a semi-normal sleep schedule. I know I don't have the best sleep schedule, but it's something that I am always working on. And especially over the last few months, I've really been trying to move my sleep time, just little bits at a time. Sleep is one of the most important parts of your health. Obviously, it's a big part of your physical health. If you're tired, you're not giving your body enough time to recover from the day. But it's also a huge part of your mental health. And why that is because sleep helps regulate your cortisol levels. So if you're not sleeping enough, you're not going to be giving your body enough time to fix everything that it needs to. And you're just going to end up putting more and more stress on your body. If your cortisol levels are messed up, you're going to find it even harder to create that sleep schedule. And that's why it's so important to take those little steps So right now I'm going to bed at 11:30. My goal next week, maybe 11:15, maybe 11 if I can get it there. But the important part is finding those ways in your life that you can start moving your bedtime, those 10, 15, 30-minute increments back. And so one of the ways that I found that's very helpful in creating this is making a routine. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm doing the same thing every day after work. Every Monday I go grocery shopping, and every Tuesday I do this, and Wednesday I do that. I don't do that. But what I do is I have a general outline, and I say, from this time to this time, these are some of the tasks that I could complete. If it's Monday and I'm not feeling like it's time for me to go grocery shopping, I might move that to Wednesday. And instead, on Monday, I might cut up my onions and do some food prep if that's something that I have in the house. Or it might be cleaning out my pantry as soon as I get home to make room for those groceries that I'm going to get. It's just learning how to switch out those tasks to make sure that you're getting everything done that you need to get done. So when you do go to bed at the end of the day, you don't find yourself overwhelmed thinking, I haven't gotten enough done. There's not enough time. Because then you fall into that process that they call, bedtime procrastination, where you're doing all of these things at night because you just feel like you didn't get enough done. So it's really important to set that routine for yourself. Another thing that can really help you set that routine is finding ways to multitask. And it might not be multitasking in the way that you're doing two things at once, but it's finding a flow for yourself, a sequence of tasks where you can get 5 things done in this 1 hour time block because they're all like in the general area. Like maybe I'm over cleaning my kettle. And I'm like, this is a good time to take the base of the espresso machine and go clean that. And while I'm in the kitchen, I'm going to do all of my dishes, put away dishes, and pull out what I need for dinner. So I just got 4 tasks done while I was cleaning my kettle because it needs time to, boil and stuff, instead of just letting that time slip away from me or go unaccounted for, or using that time to go on my phone. So making those small changes can really help you keep that decent sleep schedule and help you get more of that sleep back. The next one I have on here is stop making excuses. Check in with yourself when you feel like you're hitting a wall and you feel like you're hitting a limitation. You're like, I can't do that. Check in and say, can I do this? So check in with yourself and make sure that you're still pushing yourself. You don't want to get to a point where you're like, oh, this is too hard. But in reality, it just requires that little bit extra bit of effort that you're not willing to put in. This is also really important when you're looking at your tasks throughout the day and you see those 5-minute tasks, those 10-minute tasks, and you're just like, I can do them later. I can do them later. And now suddenly it's Friday, and now you have all these tasks that you could have been doing in the moment that you just let pile up. Now you have this big list because you kept telling yourself it wasn't a big deal. So stop making those excuses for yourself as well. By holding yourself accountable for those little tasks, it makes it a lot easier when you have those big tasks. You can say, you know what, I'm going to get this done, because you've made that part of your mentality that, you know what, I'm just going to sit down, I'm going to get this done. Why? Because I know I need to do it, and if not, I'm just going to keep putting it off. It's not going to go away. The next one on here, and I think this one is so important. Make mindfulness your new normal. Be present, be here, be conscious of the things that you do, the things that you say, who you hang out with. All of that is very important to showing up for yourself. You don't want to put yourself in situations that make your mind wander elsewhere. And I'm sure you're thinking like, Kiara, what does that even look like? People say be mindful all the time. Don't worry, I got you. So I have a couple different sections. So the first one I have is what I would consider those grounding activities. Now these can be anything where you're outside, just connecting, you're grounding yourself with nature, whether it's going on a walk in the city, going on a hike out in nature, swimming, biking, all these different things, just going to sit and look at the water. Take that time to ground yourself, slow your life down, be present. Don't have headphones in, just here. Be here. That's really important in learning how to be mindful. The next section that I have is what I would consider those me treatments. And so this is getting your hair done or doing your hair, doing your nails, facial, taking time to do your skincare. Those little moments where you have to slow down and the only focus is you. How do you feel as you're doing, if you're doing these things yourself? How do I feel about my nail shape? Am I checking in with myself? How do my nails look? Am I eating right? Are they healthy? If you're doing your hair, the same questions can be asked. Is my hair healthy? Am I taking care of my hair? If you're getting a facial, just taking that time to relax. What part of your body is being worked on? Things like that. Same with like a massage. That'd be another thing in this section. So these like maintenance things. The next one I have is journaling. And I know not everyone likes to journal, and that's fine. But it's also a skill. It's not going to come naturally to everyone. And it's really important to find a journaling technique that you like. So there's so many different kinds. There's, bullet journaling. There's like just stream of consciousness where you're just writing everything down that you're thinking about. There's, prompts that make you reflect, introspection, shadow work, things like that. It's something that you need to play around with before you really find yourself benefiting from it. It's not going to come overnight, and it's definitely not going to fix all of your life problems the second that you do it. Even if you continue doing it, it's not some magical cure-all. It's something that helps pull you back into the present moment and check in with yourself. And the last one I have on here is investing in your health every day. So obviously, the first thing we talked about was taking your health seriously. Investing in your health every day helps you be more mindful because you're focusing on yourself. If you're not focusing on yourself, are you really mindful? So this can be, cooking, exercising, holistic checkups, working on your nutrition, just different ways to invest in your health. Now, something that applies to all of these is, that idea of atomic habits, making yourself 1% better every day. So take those ways to invest in yourself. Check in with yourself and see what should you work on? What feels off about your life? Is it your physical health? Is it your mental health? And if it is, looking into those different techniques to check in and figure out what's wrong and then start figuring out a way to overcome. All right, the next one, and this should come as no surprise, be a continuous learner. The more you challenge yourself, the more you grow into the best version of yourself. Challenging the ideas that you have, those preconceived notions in your head about how things should be, and learning different ways to apply different things to your life to make it better. That's so important to showing up for yourself. And this plays into all of the different aspects. If you're a continuous learner, think about all of the different ways that you can manage your financial health, all the different styles of investing. There's like I think 4 styles or something. I'm not sure, I'm not the best at that, but it's something I'm learning. Learning the different ways to help yourself cope and help yourself heal, to focus on your mental health. Learning different ways to react to situations and learning different, better ways to manage your emotions. Same with physical health, learning different exercises that work for you, that don't work for you, routines that work for you. That's an important part of that learning journey to show up for yourself. All right, this next one is the longest one, and it really could have been its own episode, and it is date yourself. When they talk about self-love, they never say what it really means. How do you love yourself? What does it mean to love yourself when you're only used to loving other people? How do you then take that idea of how you show other people love and then apply it to yourself and truly internalize it to learn to have that love for yourself? Well, there's only one way to do that, and you have to spend time with yourself. You can't learn to love yourself when you're surrounded by other people who might be influencing how you feel, how you're experiencing things. You need to be alone. So take yourself on those solo dates. Go to dinner. Go to that museum that you've been wanting to go to. Take yourself on vacation. Make your favorite food. Pick yourself up a snack. Buy yourself those flowers. Take that, class that you've been thinking about. Life is too short to be waiting on other people to show us love. It's our responsibility to show up for ourselves. You set the standard that other people should treat you by. So you need to look at how you want to be treated and start making that a conscious part of your everyday routine. You need to learn how to show yourself that same compassion that you show other people, because learning all these different ways to love yourself can only make you a better person and can only help you love other people even more. Because once you have that love within yourself, that gives you even more love that you can show other people in your life. So that's why I think that's the most important one. And for the last one, be comfortable being uncomfortable. It was one of my hard truths for a reason, and that's because you need to push yourself to be better and to achieve everything that you want to, but that's only going to happen when you're uncomfortable, because you can't grow in spaces where you're comfortable and you're complacent, because complacency breeds mediocrity. You need to push yourself into those spaces where you are going to grow into a better version of yourself. So take that time, do something new for yourself. Put yourself in a new situation, meet a new person, whether it's at the coffee shop. Strike up a conversation with the barista if that's something you usually don't do. Go to the museum and talk to the people who are there to be showing you these experiences. Take that little bit of effort to learn something new in the situations that you're putting yourself in, because that can really make or break a situation. And that can be the difference between you growing from that situation or from you just being stagnant and experiencing the same things over and over again. But those are my small ways to show up for yourself. I hope y'all enjoyed today's episode. This was definitely a bit harder for me to record today. I just wasn't feeling in it. But I checked in with myself and I was like, you know what? I've committed and we're going to get it done. So I hope y'all enjoy, and I hope everyone is ready for next week for the first episode of the Overachiever's Guide to the Corporate World. I'm so excited for that episode to come out. I'm going to be recording with my mom. If that one doesn't get done, I will release me and Dave's episode. If it does get done, me and my mom's will be the first episode you'll see. But I hope y'all are excited. And thanks for stopping in today. Bye, guys.